Contrary to popular belief, the Sony ZV-E10 is not good for YouTube because it has one fatal flaw. Like, it's not good for vlogging, it's good for a lot of other things, but there's just one fatal flaw, and that is its rolling shutter. I mean, its rolling shutter is worse than a Jello that's been left at room temperature for a good 15 minutes and it's just about to melt. It's just bad, and because of that, you can't really be a run-and-gun, Casey Neistat, Kelly Wakaka style vlogger where you run around with a camera. You can't use the camera for cinematic pan or, gimbal shots because it has so much rolling shutter. You can't even kind of just hold the camera still because any sort of handshake, even if you have optical image stabilization, I've tested this, will translate into a million jiggle wobbly lines on your screen that your viewers will all watch and then instantaneously throw up, all 10 of them. And trust me, you really don't want to put your viewers through that torture. You already do that when you make them watch your video, your 5-minute vlog about your crap that you took in the toilet that day. Anyway, the Sony ZV-E10. It's got a lot of good things going for it. It's not a bad camera. It's just that if you're just gonna run and gun, flip your camera, run around kind of stuff, guy, don't buy it. Buy the ZV-E1 for vlogging instead of literally anything else. Heck, if you're a run and gun vlogger, you don't need to care about camera gear. Literally, Casey Neistat built millions of legendary followershipness through a Canon EOS 70D and the subsequent 80D that followed up after that. Did destroy about 35, 50, 60 of them because he is a very careless, abusive person. 2 cameras. I don't know about his relationships with people or women, but you don't need a ZV-E10 just because it has 4K fancy image quality for vlogging. In fact, it actually makes the image worse because of all the wobble. Focus on what makes your content good, and often what makes your content good isn't resolution and image quality unless you're a tech reviewer, and what makes your content good is just image quality because you're not a very entertaining, interesting person. I'm shooting this on an A7S III, so you can tell who I'm talking about. But the ZV-E10 does have very good uses and very good kind of places where it can work really well. For example, a live stream setup. You put it on a stand, you put it on like a boom arm, you fix it, point it at your head, and you've got a fancy prime, the background's all blurry like it is now, and boom, professional looking stream, you plug it into a capture card, clean HDMI out. And if you need to shoot like a video for YouTube so that your Twitch can actually grow to more than 2 followers, you can just unplug the HDMI cable, put in an SD card, and boom, you're ready to shoot a YouTube video in a stationary camera position. The ZV-E10 is also really excellent as a B cam or a C cam, like a top-down, permanently fixed there camera for tech reviewers or product reviewers. So maybe you have an arm here that holds the camera, and then you just put your product in front of the camera so you can get like some close-ups with a macro lens. If you need a recommendation for an APS-C lens, by the way, for like a B cam product camera, the ZV-E10 actually works really well with the Sigma 18-55 or 18-50 f2.8. And the reason I like that lens so much on the ZV-E10 is because as a person who does a lot of tech reviews and product shoots, that lens can go really close to the subject, almost like a macro lens. Not quite, but almost. It has very good close focusing distance, so you can get really close to your products and get very detailed shots. That combined with the excellent sharpness and wonderful image quality that the ZV-E10 has, you end up with very nice detailed product shots. So for certain uses, the ZV-E10 absolutely excels. But these uses, as you can tell, are fixed camera shots where it's not going to get bumped, where it's not going to shake, where it's not going to be all wobbly and make all your viewers throw up. So if you have a permanently affixed A-cam like this one where the camera is not moving, ZV-E10, very good. Top-down camera where it's not going to be moving, ZV-E10, very good. Fixed stream webcam, ZV-E10, very good. But if you need to carry a camera around, put it on a gimbal, slap it around, get some cinematic movement and then grade everything in teal and orange, not very good. You get the idea. There are also a couple of other things that I would say are drawbacks with the ZV-E10. The 1080p 120 FPS, actually all of the 1080p settings on the ZV-E10, dog poo-poo garbage. Now this has been an issue on the A6000 series cameras since forever. The 1080p looks really, really bad. It just looks terrible because it's like line skipped and super soft and just unenjoyable. So if you use the ZV-E10, shoot in 4K and 4K alone. If you need high frame rate 1080p, go and get a Fujifilm X-T3 or something instead. Another thing that the ZV-E10 kind of sucks about is that it has a very tiny battery, so you're always going to be swapping it. But if you do listen to my advice, which you should because I'm the all-knowing one, you're just going to put a dummy battery in because you're only going to use the ZV-E10 in a stationary setup as Daddy told you to. Another issue I have with the ZV-E10 is the lack of image stabilization. If it did have image stabilization, it would help a lot with the sensor wobble issue, make it less vomitous inducing, but it does not have that. because they wanted to make it super cheap, which I respect, but it did really hurt its performance as a particular type of camera. But at the very least, for YouTube content creators, the self-obsessed narcissist generation that I'm in, which includes me, by the way, I'm insulting myself when I say this, it's really good because it's got a flip screen, so you can stare into yourself when you're shooting your video, so your viewers can think that you are stupid or drunk or high because you're staring off into space. And it also has really good autofocus, so no matter what you put in front of the camera, it just focuses really fast. Unlike on this. I'm shooting this on the A7S III, by the way, so that was not a fair representation. Either way though, it's an impressive camera. But if you're doing run and gun stuff, just get a Sony ZV-E10 instead. The E10 isn't worth it at all. Subscribe. There might be more videos, but with how on and off I am with this channel, and I don't know if there will be.